Hi class, this is Denise, and I just wanted to start making a few more videos to populate our learning modules with a little bit more information for all of us. So I have this egg carton, and this is part of my waste reduction project. And so all of you should be documenting your waste. You should be fairly far into your waste reduction. Let me count. You should be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 11 days into your waste reduction project. And that means that you have just a few more days to go to complete that assignment. You're going to have your 2 weeks of waste reduction. So some of you might be wondering, well, how do I reduce my waste, and what can I do about that? And so I wanted to just share some ideas that have come up in the past. Normally we would have had a class discussion on Monday about this, but since we didn't meet, we didn't have that discussion. So examples of waste reduction are eating less takeout is a really good one. Packing a lunch instead of taking a lunch to work or school. And since all of us are at home right now, you might be just noticing that you have less waste in general because you might not be going out as much as you normally do. And you'll probably also notice a really good connection between your waste reduction and your expenses. So typically when we're living a relatively low waste lifestyle, we're also spending less money because we're not eating at restaurants as much, we're not eating out as much, we're typically eating at home. Now that being said, a lot of people on the island, including me, shop at Costco, so we end up with a lot of these really big plastic containers. And so these are the kind of things that I'm thinking that would be sort of constituted as like your best trash for your trashing project, which is going to be coming up in like 2 weeks. And so like this is the kind of thing that I would recommend for you to wash out, get it really clean, and get it ready, because you might find that these are useful for creating the next project. And they're pretty easy to clean and keep hold of. And I collect these all the time anyway because I like to use them in my studio. I like to use them as my palettes. I use these lids to mix paint on or to mix ink on, and then it's sort of like it gives it another use, like a second life, so to speak. So my son also likes to play drums on these, so he calls these his drums. We have the small drums, and then we have the big drums. And so for those of you who are at home with kids and you're trying to think about how to entertain them, this could be another kind of fun thing to do with your kids as well. So, and I think the trashing project, where you're going to make a wearable art piece, is a really good one to get your family involved in. So a lot of us are kind of trying to figure out how to spend our time aside from watching Netflix and stuff like that. Although that is really fun, it can kind of grate on your nerves after a while if that's all you're doing. So try to find those creative outlets. I also saved these 2 straws. Straws are something that you're not finding much these days. And they might be kind of a neat material to make something out of, because they're long, they're strong, you can run a thread through it, you can do all different kinds of things with straws. So I encourage you to go onto Pinterest or Google image search and look up ideas. And you might look up like things I can make out of an egg carton. Like this is a really interesting kind of strong structure. The way these individual cells are structured, you could cut them apart, you could use them for different things, maybe use them in strips. Like take a strip of 4 and then add it together with another strip of 4, and you can make something very interesting out of something like that. So I want you to kind of get your gears turning, start thinking about it now so that you're not like panicked at the last minute and trying to come up with something. And basically in this second week, you're trying to reduce your waste. You're studying the zero waste lifestyle, you're studying minimalism, and you're trying to bring your waste production down. And so take some of those strategies by, not getting as much takeout, not eating as much processed food if that's possible for you. Right now it might be a little tricky to get like an ample amount of fresh foods, but I've noticed a huge connection between my overall health, my overall well-being, my budget, and my waste reduction. So I'm not actively like a zero waster by any stretch. I am what I would say is a very practical kind of, I try to keep my life fairly simple, but I do feel like, as compared to most people, I would be considered a minimalist. I try to buy. I'm very like often not buying stuff. Like I always try to strategize how to not buy things as opposed to buying things. I use Facebook Marketplace a lot. Like as soon as I'm done using something, like when my son was done with his high chair phase or his needing his baby car seat kind of thing, I immediately get rid of it. I either sell it or I give it away to somebody who needs it because I don't want that stuff cluttering up my very small apartment. So, and then when people often come to my home, they think the same thing. They're always like, "Where is your stuff? Like, where are your pictures? Where are your paintings?" Like, I do kind of keep things super simple. So that's just my own lifestyle choice. It's not something I really project onto other people, but I do notice that when people come to my house or to my apartment, they're always like, "Wow, you live in a really small apartment, but it feels so spacious." And that's because I don't have a lot of crap. Like anything that is like cluttering up the space, I get rid of. So give it a try. See if it works for you. See if you like it. It's been kind of a movement lately with the whole Marie Kondo waste kind of like cluttered avoidance strategies. So give it a try and see if it works for you. All right. I hope that's helpful. I would like to see your waste reduction document. It can either be a PowerPoint if that's useful to you. Like if you like to have that format, that's not necessary. You could actually do it as a Word document where you have the list of your wastes for each day and then you also include pictures in the Word document. Or you could do it as a PowerPoint if that's easier for you. Either one is fine for me. You don't have to have every single photo, but I would like you to have a nice kind of proof that you did the project with sincerity. And then also, what was the other thing I wanted to add? Proof, you did the project with sincerity, and a description. That's a really important part. Like you're going to write a statement about what you learned. Like, did you find it hard? Did you find it easy? Like, how did this whole like COVID-19 lockdown affect your waste production or output? One thing I've noticed is people have like an ebb and a flow. Like if they go to the commissary and they buy a bunch of stuff, they come home with a whole bunch of cardboard, a whole bunch of bags, and then like there might be another day that their waste reduction is lower. So feel free to document all that and let us know about it and let us know how it works out. So you're going to submit that directly through the assignment. Click on the waste reduction assignment, and then when you go to the bottom, you will have a write a submission section, and then browse my computer and you can get your document and you can add it directly to the assignment. That's probably the best way. I really prefer for the assignments to be submitted through the assignments as opposed to in an email to me, because otherwise I sort of lose them when I have a bunch of students emailing me different things. So I'm going to push you guys to submit through the assignments. This assignment is due March 22nd, and I would like for that to be done on March 22nd, but if you need a couple extra days, you can email me and ask for an extension. For the variety of reasons, this might have been difficult for you to accomplish. Some of you were traveling, some of you had various work commitments that could not be avoided. So if you need another week to complete it, I would much rather have you do it and complete it with sincerity than to fake it till you make it. I get really irritated with fake it till you make it assignments, and I think all of you know what I'm talking about when I say that. So try to do it with sincerity, all right? And just ask for an extension, and I'll be totally fine with that. All right, take care. Talk to you soon.